What is going on with the Republicans? I mean, here you got the head guy spending thousands of dollars to watch topless dancers imitating lesbian sex. David Vitter, remember him? He was the guy, the other senator, he was paying for hookers. Mark Sanford, he's got a mistress down in Argentina. You know, conservatives does not look back at Senator Larry Craig's affair in the men's room as the good old days. Remember the good old days? That was a simpler time. You went in the men's room, you came back out. What happened? What happened to those?
Jay Leno having some fun at the expense of Republicans who have had their troubles recently with sex scandals. But Democrats are not immune from these problems. Let's take a trip down memory lane on both sides of the aisle.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Ms. Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
And so my truth is that I am a gay American.
Let me be clear. I am not gay. I never have been gay.
I want to again offer my deep, sincere apologies to all those I have let down and disappointed with these actions from my past.
The past few days, I've begun to atone for my private failings.
In 2006, 2 years ago, I made a very serious mistake.
I violated the vows of my marriage.
I've been unfaithful to my wife.
And we could have kept this tape going for a long time. So which party has more sex scandals? Well, the website The Daily Beast did some research on this, and they identified the top 58 political sex scandals from the past 20 years and found that the GOP had 32 of them. Democrats had 26, but their scandals were bigger. Bill Clinton made the list 3 different times, with Democrats owning 13 out of the top 20 scandals based on the Daily Beast study. NBC's Luke Russer joins us now. And Luke, how does this break down by category?
It's a really interesting breakdown, David, that the Daily Beast did. If we look at 3 main categories, which is prostitution problems, just straight infidelity problems, and then sexual harassment problems, it's an interesting breakdown. Number 1, under the prostitution problems, Republicans have an advantage over Democrats. They beat them 6-1 of the top 58 political sex scandals. So 6 Republicans to have prostitution problems, 1 Democrat. Infidelities, they break even, 18-18. It's really the true bipartisanship that we see there. And then under sexual harassment, Democrats actually have a much bigger problem with that, having 8 sexual harassment charges compared to the GOP's 2. So if you want to avoid sexual harassment, go work in a Republican office. If you want to avoid prostitution, go work in a Democratic office. If you want to avoid infidelity, don't work in politics. They both are evenly matched in that sin.
Now, you've come up with your favorite top 5. Give us the top 5 and explain why.
You know, we just had this huge 3 weeks of health care, and we have a little lull before Wall Street reform starts out. So I said, there's got to be the top 5 political sex scandals, in my opinion. I think you need 3 things. Number 1, shock value. Number 2, the hilarity of the situation. And number 3, the response. This is my list. Number 5, Eliot Spitzer, governor of New York, in the media capital of the world, getting in trouble with a hooker, and he was really blatant about it. So that has a lot of shock value. It's a kind of a hilarious situation that he put himself through that. Number 4, Larry Craig, the hilarity there could have been number 1, but the response was a little tame.
You like the knock-knock.
We do the Eric Massa that you and I talked about frequently.
Number 3 for Eric Massa.
Number 3, the tickle jokes was amazing, and the Glenn Beck interview that he had was absolutely there on the shock value and hilarity and the response, all 3. Number 2, Mark Sanford, because of the response, talking about his letters that he wrote to his mistress while clearing brush at 6 in the morning in the middle of South Carolina. I don't know about you, but that says romance, David, clearing brush in South Carolina. And number 1, Governor McGreevey, just because of his so absolutely absurd. And then allegations later on that he had another male staffer involved with relations with he and his wife.
And the shock value there, that you didn't even know he was gay until he comes out.
No one had any idea. You know, son of Irish Catholic parents, and he was a big Catholic Democrat, and that just came out of nowhere. Now he's actually trained to become an Episcopalian priest and teaches an ethics class at a New Jersey university. So
and he will always be the number 1 sex scandal for our own Luke Russell. Thank you very much. We appreciate it as always.
Always a pleasure.